Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 18 of the Empowered Psychology Podcast. My name is Cristela, and I am the host and the founder of Empowered Psychology, which is an educational platform and community that gives a voice to those with visible and invisible illnesses with the goal of empowering others to overcome adversity and create their dream lives. So, thank you so much for being here today. And today we are going to be discussing a very powerful topic. And today's topic is about the importance and the power of setbacks. Yes, the importance and the power of setbacks. Progress versus perfection. But before we get into that video, drink of the day is watermelon. Yes? Oh my gosh. I am going to get optimal hydration and happiness from drinking this. So cheers. Delicious. All right, let's get started. Okay, so quick life update to give y'all some context. And this is really important for me tying in this topic. So, as y'all know, I have lupus, and if you didn't know that, well, I have lupus, and I actually have a series where I talked about how I conquered lupus. But as of recent, I realized that I am still conquering lupus. Yeah. Now that I think about it, I technically have not conquered lupus. Wow, I cannot believe I'm saying that, but it is what it is. And why do I say that? Well, I am not eating the right foods. When my blood work comes up, technically I still quote unquote have lupus. So I haven't really conquered lupus. If anything, I'm in remission. But am I really? And why do I say that? Well, I have been on a journey lately, a process, and that is something that I've been highlighting a lot throughout my last few podcast episodes. Check those out. Amazing information, amazing wisdom that I share throughout this process. And throughout this process, I have really focused a lot on my prayer life and reading the Bible. This is by far one of the greatest books I've ever read. And because I am dedicated to the process, I am making permanent change in my life. And throughout the changes I've been making, I've been getting more knowledge and more wisdom. And as I mentioned in my previous podcast episodes, I don't have a plan for my life anymore. I have an intention. And I really let God know my intention, and then he's just been kind of like guiding me on where to go, and things have just happened. Amazing things have just happened, and that's why I believe that the process is the way to go, and that's why I'm talking about progress versus perfection, because a lot of us have a goal and we want to be perfect. Like we have the goal and we set it with the intention of being perfect and completely ignore all the work that it's going to take to get to that goal. Now, within my process, I have started to embark on the truth. And this actually came to me through an angel, really, Brian Green. And I told him I have lupus. And he was like, well, what are you eating? And I told him what I was eating. He was like, well, that's the first problem. Please watch this video. And I've heard about the Dr. Sebi diet because I'm part Honduran. My dad is from Honduras, and he is from Honduras. So if you don't know who Dr. Sebi is, he was an amazing educator and herbalist who healed a bunch of illnesses through diet. And I was like, okay, I will look into it. Well, I started to look into it. I saw the video, and because I have been dedicated to the process, I have already been in the process of cleaning up my eating habits. Now, I haven't opened up about this ever on my channel, but I'm going to today because it is very, very important. I have struggled a lot throughout my life with the way I eat and body image. And it has been a battle. When I tell you a battle, it has been something that I've dealt with. Honestly, it started around the age I was 14. But really, I look back and it started earlier than that, since I was born. And why do I say that? Well, if you're living in the United States, or honestly any Western society, we eat horrible foods. We are not taught how to honor our bodies as a temple, because the Bible says that our body is a temple. And honestly, I've never really been taught how deep that is and how to live through that. And I look back at my life and I'm like, wow, growing up, my favorite drink was Coke. Like, I really don't ever remember drinking water. Honestly, started drinking water when I first got sick with lupus in the hospital. That is when I started to really drink water. Before then, I really don't remember drinking water unless if I had to, and it would be like sips here and there. But my favorite drinks growing up were Coca-Cola, lemonade, Capri Suns, and yeah, most of all Coca-Cola. Everyone knew me, like all my cousins knew me as that crazy cousin who could drink Coca-Cola all day, every day. So now that I know the truth about Coca-Cola and the truth about sugar, and also a lot of other truths about what is in our foods, which will actually blow your mind, it makes sense why I got sick. It makes sense. And this has been very, just a complex process and realization that I had. So yeah, my favorite foods were Coca-Cola. I've always loved candy. Chocolate has been my favorite thing since I can remember. Hershey's chocolate. I can eat chocolate all day. Like, seriously, I love chocolate, sweets and all that. Also, it's embedded within our culture because a lot of our foods that we eat are highly processed. They have a lot of fats and the wrong fats, and they have a lot of salts. And not only that, we're eating a lot of like meat products. So where my parents are from, you know, the traditional plate is beans, rice, carne, aka beef, and yeah, no vegetables and fruits. Matter of fact, when I primarily eat vegetables and fruits, my family tells me I'm not even eating, which blows my mind now that I've educated myself on nutrition and the truth about our bodies as a temple. Like, living through that and actually like eating the right foods to nourish our body, it blows my mind that my family and people within my culture even think that by me just eating fruits and vegetables, I'm not even eating. Wow. So the food that is bad is considered food, but the food that is good, that works for you and not against you, is considered not food and not nutritious. We have to wake up. And I am so glad that I have woken up, because even though it's only been a few weeks, and matter of fact, a few days, that I've really been focused on treating my body as a temple, I'm already so much a better person. And this is not easy. It is not our fault that we are born into a society that from the age that before we can even like get out the womb, we are already exposed to these foods on a regular basis. And that brings me to my next point. We are literally living within psychological and sociological warfare. It's the truth. All around us are these foods. All around us are these TV shows. All around us are false information. I mean, even the school system where we grow up in, essentially it does not teach us how to properly function as a human being. Even within their own society that they created, like how to do taxes, how to get a job, how to do this, they don't even teach us that. They thrive off of our ignorance. And the powerful thing is that now we have the internet, which is something that I want to highlight right now. Prince, one of my favorite artists, he said, use the internet, but do not allow the internet to use you. Now we have the internet, which, as we know, the internet and social media has been used to corrupt our minds. Don't believe me? Go to your local high school and see if you see any organic interaction. For the most part, what you're going to see is a bunch of people on their phones. Wake up. We all have to wake up. So, yeah, there is a downside to the internet, but also I have found that there is a good part to the internet. And that is the fact that there's so much information on the internet. We no longer have an excuse to be ignorant. There is no excuse to be ignorant because now we have everything at our fingertips. And it blows my mind that they keep that this information hasn't been taken down from the internet. But you know why? Because most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves. That is why. And today, I want to empower you to educate yourself and embark on this process of saving your life and creating your dream life. And I want to empower you to do just that. So yes, basically I've been educating myself and slowly I've been making necessary changes. I recently gave up coffee. And if you look at my previous podcast episodes, there are episodes where I'm drinking coffee and I'm sharing my coffees and all that. But turns out that coffee destroys your kidneys. And me, I have lupus nephritis, which is lupus in the kidney. So I cannot run the risk of destroying my kidney, especially the fact that I would drink coffee every day and I would make espresso. And I had fun. I loved making my coffee. I would spend at least 15 minutes making my coffee every day. And it was a really soothing practice for me. But if it's going to cost me my health, it's not even worth it. I cut off coffee, and when I tell you I had the worst withdrawal I've ever had in my life. First of all, I've never had a withdrawal, period. But wow, this was my first time having a withdrawal, and it was insane. I could not believe that coffee could cause me to have that much pain. My headache was so bad, I couldn't even see, and I was crying. And look, I'm not the type to cry. And I hope that throughout my healing journey that I cry again. Because I feel like ever since I got sick the first time with lupus, I haven't been able to really cry. It's honestly insane. And I wish I could cry. And throughout the years, I've had moments where I have cried. But I can't just cry right now that I think about all of this and it just breaks my heart, all the things that I've gone through. I can't cry about it. And I know that is a sign of trauma and quote unquote strength, but I am ready to embark and continue this process of conquering so that I can be able to release those emotions and find the truth within the way I really feel and the way I really want to live. So for me to cry because of a pain means that it's really bad. I had the worst headache of my entire life. And to be quite honest with you, like, I started throwing up. Like, I had never felt this in my entire life. And it comes back to this point. A lot of what Dr. Sebi teaches and like Yaki Awaken, those are the two main people I'm watching right now. They talk about fruits. They say fruits are our healers. Fruits are those foods we need to fuel our body and become the best versions of ourselves. And I'm like, wow. Okay, so I stopped eating fruit because unfortunately we also live in a society where there is organic and non-organic foods. So the fruit that you're eating that is not organic can actually be harmful to you. It's insane. And we have to wake up. That's just the only thing I have to say. We have to wake up. And me sharing this, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Me sharing this right now, it kind of makes me a little afraid, of seeming crazy, but I'm not crazy. Because as y'all can see throughout my testimony, it already happened to me. Me consuming these foods and me not taking care of myself. And honestly, half the time it wasn't my fault because we were conditioned to have these habits of eating all this disgusting bad food for us. I already got sick because of it. I got lupus. The first time I literally almost died. And the second time I was literally almost disabled. Almost lost my ability to function physically. So it's real. It's real. And now that I'm educating myself, I know it's the food. And I let go of coffee. And like, back to the fruit thing. Because, you know, I have so much to share right now. And I want to be as real as possible. Back to the fruit thing. I let go of eating real fruits and I didn't have any withdrawal. And honestly, that kind of reflects like how God gives us free will. Because when we turn our backs on God, God isn't going to punish us for turning our backs on him. Because we have free will. That's how much he loves us. So me leaving the fruit, the real fruit, I didn't have any withdrawal. I didn't have anything. And when I went back to eating just fruit, because the past week I've been on a detox. I haven't had sugar going on 4 days. I feel amazing. So I came back to that real food and it was ready to give me the energy I needed to heal. But me leaving coffee, I had a whole attack just leaving coffee. And honestly, if you want to get spiritual with it, it kind of shows like how the enemy works. He's going to do something for you. In my case, it was giving me the pleasure of this coffee, knowing it was destroying my kidneys. If I get off of it, I'm going to have to pay for that. And I paid for it. Now, here is where the power lies in the setbacks. I did not let that headache and that pain I was going through. Oh, I forgot to mention, I was also shaking. So on top of having a headache, on top of vomiting, I was also shaking. I didn't go back to coffee. Why? Why didn't I go back to coffee? Because a lot of people would have just said, you know what, I'm going to go have a coffee. I understand the value of the process and the value of experiences. We need to learn from our experiences. And that's the thing. This society and the way that we have been brought up has taught us to be in a very naive mindset. The truth is in front of us, but for some reason we cannot see it. And that is by design. All you have to do is open your eyes and you will see the truth. I understood in that moment that this was an experience and this was showing me the real effects of coffee and what it could do to me. It can destroy me. So honestly, I don't miss coffee right now because of what I went through. Like, you're really gonna put, like, I'm taking it personal. Like, coffee, really? You wanna put me through that? Tricking me into giving me energy and making me feel whole, coming into my, morning routine and being a pleasure in life. Like, literally, when I travel, I like to go to local coffee shops to get that experience of, like, okay, what coffee is good, what coffee is bad. I was even learning about, like, different coffees, all to find out that it was poisoning in my body and affecting my health, and if anything, activating my lupus. So I'm done. I'm done with coffee. So let's tie that into the power of setbacks. Now, I mentioned that I've gone 4 days without sugar. Now, as I mentioned before, this has been a process for me, really cleaning my lifestyle. It has been slow. And a lot of us don't know that we feel bad. Why? Because we've been eating this food for so long. It's just the norm for us. It's the norm for us not to have energy. It is the norm for us not to be happy. It is the norm for us to go to the store and get a bunch of candies. That's normal for us. So we don't even know what greatness feels like. Guys, I'm telling y'all the truth right now. Fruits and vegetables will make you feel like you're on top of the world. The past 4 days, I have had more energy than I have had in 24 years. Wow. And that just shows you also the power of God. Your body is willing to forgive you when you give it the right things. Same with God. God is always willing to forgive you. This goes so deep. And we need to understand the power of setbacks, because I have messed up these past few weeks that I've been messing up my diet. But now that I have experienced what it's like to eat the right foods, I know the difference. And that is where the power of setbacks lie. You need the setbacks in order to know the difference of achieving something and making a mistake. And then you take that wisdom and reflection that you need to do. When you make those mistakes, you need to make the choice to have a different perception. Okay, this is a setback, and if anything, it's going to make me stronger, and it's going to help me recognize the actions that I am doing that are causing me to develop destructive habits. That is the power of setbacks. A lot of people do not know how to identify a setback properly because they are chasing perfection and not the process. You have to chase the process and progress because you have been conditioned for too long with these horrible habits. It's not gonna happen in one day. It's not. And honestly, if you want me to be honest, it's not gonna happen on your own will. You're going to need God. Like, period. And I'm telling you this right now because I am living that. For years, I have been struggling with an eating problem. Years. And I may even cry right now. I was just talking about it, how I really want to cry. And if I cry right now, it is what it is, because this has actually destroyed my life. It has destroyed my health, hence the reason I have lupus. It has destroyed my self-esteem and my body image issues and the way that I view myself. I haven't even been able to look at myself for who I am, for the beautiful mind that I have, for the beautiful heart that I have. Because I've been too consumed on, what do I actually look like? And self-objectifying myself. I'm done. Sometimes the key to change is being tired of your own shit. It's being tired of your reality and saying, no, you know what? I'm going to go seek the truth. I have this valuable tool called the internet where I can get this information for free and set myself free and set my future generations free. Even set my past generations free. And it's all through going through the process. Like I said, we are living in psychological and sociological warfare. And I know that because now that I am making the necessary changes in my life, I am constantly being tempted. I go to the store and I see my favorite candies. And mind you, look at my reaction when I say these candies. Reese's Pieces, oh my God. Like, this is my organic reaction. And for y'all who are woke, please peep that. And I'm not going to get into that right now because I really need to do my own research and confirm this for myself. But they are putting something in this food that makes it psychologically addictive in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. And I know that. Look at my reaction when I think about chocolate. Like, look, chocolate. Like, my face just glows up. Even though chocolate is poisoning me and putting a bunch of sugar in my body and ruining my cells, ruining my DNA, ruining my health, causing me lupus, causing me pain. No, I'm done. And as I have been on this journey, I have, of course, been researching people who are living that lifestyle. They don't eat anything other than fruits and vegetables and natural herbs, drink water, drink, like juices like this. Like, this is basically hydration because those fruits give you hydration. And I think to myself, like, oh my God, like, how am I going to do that? Like, for example, next week, I'm going to Austin because I have a bunch of graduations to attend. I'm so proud of my friends. I love y'all to death. And I know that there's going to be so much food there, right? And I'm like, okay, how am I going to build that strength? Guys, you need to go through the process. You need to go through the process and stop trying to chase perfection. The thing is, the more that you consume these foods and the more consistent you are and the more aware you are of how you feel and the more that you really, how much do you love yourself? That's the real question. How much do you love yourself? The more you love yourself, it won't even be a temptation. These foods won't even be a temptation because you're just going to look at that and be like, oh, that's cancer. That's lupus. That's poison. And you're going to make better choices. You're going to get stronger. And eventually you will get to that point where you don't want to touch those foods. But if you do, guess what? All it is a setback that's going to prepare you to get to that moment because you're going to be able to feel the difference of having real food and having this poison. And the thing is that this food has hijacked our brains. That's really what it is because our body doesn't want this food. Hence why we're gaining weight. Hence why we are depressed. We can't sleep well. All these problems. It's our minds that want these foods. That is what is happening. These foods have hijacked our minds and have created these destructive patterns that are making us sick. And for me, I love myself and I'm no longer going to do this. So I am in the process of slowly building these habits, learning to love myself, educating myself, and changing my life. Because I don't want to have lupus. Honestly, I don't ever want to have an infusion ever again. I don't even, I'm on one medication for lupus called Plaquenil, and God willing, one day I will share my testimony where I conquered having to take any medications for lupus, and all my tests come out that I'm fine and there's no longer any trace of lupus, and I know it is possible because God already gave us healing foods. He gave it to us. So, y'all, there is power in the setbacks, and you need to chase progress and the process versus perfection. You are going to fail. If you watch this video right now or any video of these amazing people who are changing people's lives and empowering others to eat healthy and get rid of their all types of diseases, from physical to mental to spiritual. If you go and say, okay, I'm gonna go clean out my pantry, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, stop, because it's not sustainable. If anything, if you change your day from one day to the next, if anything, you're gonna be miserable because you're not going to be able to see the difference. Slowly start changing things, and you will see how you feel when you eat those berries in the morning. Oh my gosh, like I honestly, guys, I have never experienced this in my life, eating food and then getting energy. And that's what it's actually supposed to do. But I've never experienced that in my life, because I would eat Chick-fil-A. I would eat tacos. I would eat quesadillas. I would eat rice, beans, and steak. So every time I ate, I would feel tired. And then I would feel depressed. Perfection is a trap. And forgive yourself, because your body forgives you and God forgives you. And if you take the time to really pray, read this Bible, use the internet, do not let the internet use you, and educate yourself, you will evolve and change your lives in ways that you have never imagined. I never thought I would be making a video like this, but it's all thanks to God and me dedicating myself to God. He has put people in my life who have really been angels and have been ushering this new amazing way of living, which is honestly the natural way that we should have been living all along. So y'all, that is it for today's video. I really hope this empowered you. And honestly, I actually now want to make like even a group of people who want to make change, because we do not have to do this alone. We do not. We can all come together, educate ourselves, and empower one another to be healthier and no longer stand for these lies and set ourselves up for sickness and misery. This life is so beautiful. There's so much on this earth to see and experience, and I'm not going to let these lies get in the way of that. Okay, y'all? So thank you so much for watching this video, and I love y'all, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.